Shalom, Shalom, Yasharala, the elect of the nation of Israel, the elect of Yahushai, to the house of David, by after without being raised up in the latter days, according to Bible prophecy. Shalom. First and foremost, Kal Halayim Wahawad La Yahweh Bahasham Hamashiach Wamalak Yahushai Wabaha Rakha Kodash. Double honor to the venerable apostles at the great millstone, along with the bishops and elders who rule and teach the nation of Israel well, the 100% truth. Enough respect and salutations to the Akim pushing his word the world over. This good news, this gospel. To you few sisters who are doing the right thing, to you I say Shalom. And Adonai Ratazah, which means Lord willing, so Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. And as you can see on your screen, man, the times that we're in, that we're coming to, it's just more and more clear, evident that this climate, this economic climate, alright, is sinking deeper and deeper. Alright, this ship is sinking. Okay. Now over here in the UK, we've got nurses striking. Alright, for the NHS. Okay. This, beloved so-called country of Great Britain. Okay, which is supposed to be the hub. Alright, the hub of or the headquarters of immigration. It's supposed to be like the center of finance. Okay. And we're continuously seeing strikes. Alright, all around the world, up and down the country. Alright, so it's just it's clear what times the times that we're in. Alright, and the NHS, it's free healthcare. It's free healthcare, man. And in most other countries, the healthcare is not free. Alright, and these strikes are over wages. Alright, and pay, which over time that's gonna apply. There's going to be more pressure applied on the NHS. So if we get our first precept in the book of 2nd Esdras chapter 9 verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest, meaning Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, will begin to visit the world which he made, and he does that through his judgments. Okay. And how do we measure the time? Alright? By lining it up with the scriptures, with prophecy, by seeing what's going on with current events. Alright? And the economy, man, that's failing, that's falling. Okay. So let's go into this article, and this is from the Telegraph, from the 10th of November this year. And the headline reads, Nurses Union facing growing immunity over strikes. Questions raised over way ballot was structured amid concerns for patients who will suffer from cancelled operations. Alright. The Nurses Union is facing a growing mutiny amongst nursing staff over its strike threat, which was backed by less than half of acute trusts in England. On Thursday, NHS nurses urged the union to reconsider plans for industrial action, which could lead to thousands of operations being cancelled. Alright. Along with treatments such as chemotherapy and dialysis. And that's major because these are appointments that they've had planned over a period of time, and with the nurses striking, okay, that's going to lead to a lot of losses of operations. Okay. It says legally a vote in favour of strikes requires a response from just over half of those polled. However, the Royal College of Nursing used a disaggregated ballot. I'm going to get most of the points in this article. Right, I might not read the whole thing. But in due time, you can, read the article for yourself. So, continue on. It says, this means that instead of requiring the majority of RCN members across the UK to vote and a majority of them to back the strikes, every individual hospital was counted separately. While all NHS organisations in Scotland and Northern Ireland backed strikes, along with all bar one in Wales and England, just 102 of 215 NHS acute trusts voted to back strike action, the data shows. In the Midlands, nurses at just 1 in 5 hospitals backed strikes, while in London the figure was less than 1 in 3. Okay, you got a map of where the strikes are and where there's none. Okay. So that's where we're at, man. you know. And there's a huge demographic of the British population, okay, that depends on the NHS. All right, especially now that the aging population of the UK is increasing, okay. Around, I think, almost 11 million people over the age of 65, okay. That's that's quite a lot for an aging population. People are living a bit longer, but they said that within a decade it will have gone up to around 13 million people, which will be 22% of the population. All right, and that was a source that I saw from agebetter.org.uk. all right, so this society is breaking down, okay, bit by bit. Got another article as well. Okay, it's breaking down from the inside out. That's an effective way for an economy to fall. All right. So this headline is from The Independent, and this was just 2 hours ago, so it's recent. Thousands of NHS workers not paid enough to live on, new figures show. They're telling you, man. Telling you straight out. It's from a credible source. Thousands of NHS workers are not paid enough to live on. All right. New figures are revealed as employers have been urged to fulfil their moral duty to pay staff a living wage. Figures from the Living Wage Foundation shared exclusively with The Independent show just 24 NHS trusts out of 219 are accredited real living wage employers, meaning that they offer all staff at least £10.90 an hour. In London, just 13 of the city's 34 NHS trusts are accredited. London Mayor Sadiq Khan and then NHS CEO David Bradley have urged NHS trusts in the city to pay a living wage to all, while the union, Unite, said it was a scandal that so many in the capital did not offer it. Seems like a little testimony of someone. All right, we're all really struggling in terms of getting staff, filling vacancies. If you could show that you are a living wage employer, all right, an accredited employer, that helps to be able to attract staff. Employees must pay national minimum wage rates of between £4.81 and £9.18 depending on age, from school leaving age up until the age of 23, while workers who are 23 or older must get a wage of £9.50 an hour, rebranded by the government as the National Living Wage 2016, or in the year 2016. However, the Living Wage Foundation sets the real living wage, a higher sum voluntarily paid by over 11,000 employers based on basic living costs. It stands at £11.95 in London and £10.90 across the rest of the UK, but there is no legal requirement to pay it. Okay, so that's the climate of the situation that we're in. Okay. And, what you must remember is that the NHS, in case you didn't know, alright, is like the spinal cord of the UK, supposedly. Henceforth, the reason why immigrants flood to the UK, alright, to get free healthcare, because over here it's free for them, but in the countries and other places, healthcare isn't free in other countries. So of course they're going to seize the opportunity. But now with nurses striking, alright, you can see how everything is slowly but surely breaking down, alright. And every major industry is striking, okay, to the point where people are just simply walking off and, obviously they're looking for other means of employment, okay, and taxpayers, they pay for the National Health Service, so it's not a private enterprise. But, ultimately, everything will lead to the MOTB, the digital alright, the Revelation chapter 13, verse 16 through 18, okay. So, Yahweh Shem Yahshai really is speeding things up. Things are moving quick. Alright? And this is right in front of your face, they're telling you. Okay? Alright, so for you new brothers and sisters coming in, okay? Alright, because we've got new listeners coming in every day, day by day. Alright? So that's the times that we're in. And the NHS was one of those services or industries where it was a job for life, like they used to say, meaning that once you had a permanent position there, once you got in, alright, you wouldn't lose it. Alright, you would retire from working there. Now, of course, obviously, if you got yourself into a bad predicament where you got yourself sacked or fired, all right, then obviously that was it for you. Or if you simply resigned. But it's one of those jobs that they promised, all right, just like a civil service job over here, okay, because it was a government job. You had certain benefits, okay, that you'd get if you worked for them. That's the thing, because this isn't the case of Esau's rulership. It's nearing its end. So let's go to the book of Psalm. I think that's Psalm 49, verse 11. Alright, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. And Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the wicked that's ruling the world today. Okay, he thinks he's going to be ruling perpetually, alright, forevermore, throughout his generation. Okay, that's why they come up with different ways, different strategies, different methods, to combat any problems in this society. But Yahweh Shai set it up, okay, that his kingdom, this man's kingdom, is only for a certain amount of time, and then, and indeed, we're at the end of it. All right, that's why it's high time, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and you speckled birds, Israelite foreigners scattered around the world that may look like these other nations, who are Israelites according to the line of their fathers, going back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You're the children of Israel. All right, you must repent. Okay. Let's get Proverbs. Proverbs 11:28. He that trusteth in his riches shall fall, but the righteous shall flourish as a branch. All right, the righteous shall flourish as a branch. Okay, and our people are still trying to make it here, man. They're still trusting in the system, in the shadow of Egypt, all right, rather than seeking the Lord. Okay. This can also be twofold, because, Esau, how did he get his riches? How did he get his wealth? All right, by deceit, murder, robbery. Okay. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, roughly paraphrasing. Okay, that verse. So, hey, that's not going to save you. Okay. Your gold and your silver is cankered, pursuant to Book of James, chapter 5. Alright, because, you got that through wicked means. Sorry, this man ain't a righteous ruler at all. Okay. And his track record, it shows it, it's bloody. Alright, this rich man is weeping because the good old days are over. Alright, traveling, fuel, cost of living, food prices, they're all too high. That's the case. The elites, they might say, okay, let's offer a pay rise here and there, just to keep things going, just to keep the public somewhat content, so they can further their agenda and gradually, because that's how Esau moves, gradualism, so it can gradually offer you, his solution, which is the surveillance under the skin, the MOTB, which of course next year will be more problems, because where they're gonna, they're gonna have to extract money from raise up tax. Okay, so the knock-on effect is going to continue. Okay, the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, though it, it might seem like it's a while, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Verse 4, behold, his soul, Esau, Edom, which is lifted up, is not upright in him, but the just, all right, the elect on this side of the nation of Israel shall live by his faith. All right, and there's going to come a time where, we're not going to lean on our enemies for the want of all things. Okay, because we're still under the curses. We still have to go to our enemies for food, for a job, for clothing, etc. All right, but it's going to come a time where we've got to live by faith, because when they present to you or your family members or close friends, that rice grain, that rice and peas, man. This is where your faith is tested. Okay. This must happen. All right. Further down the road, our faith again, it will be tested, and we're nearing that time. It will be rough and tough. All right. But we're gonna look beyond that, because Jacob's trouble is near. But Yahushai, okay, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai soon will set up his kingdom where righteousness dwells forevermore. Alright? Because everything here is corrupted. Alright, this man's greedy. Alright, we're constantly monitored. Look at the state of the planet. Okay, the food. We can't even speak the truth over YouTube properly. Without, we have to speak in code words. Yeah, we can push the word out, but we have to use certain words, or else they'll strike your video. Okay. For certain terms, you'll know what those terms are. Man, on this planet, you got to get permission for the slightest thing. Okay. Going back to the ancient world, to our forefathers. Alright, like Abraham, as an example, who had wealth and resources, like land and cattle. Alright? They were self-sufficient. Now, in this society, you're dependent upon the government, who at any moment can take everything away from you. Okay? That's why you should lay up your treasures in heaven, not on earth. Right? Because this place, this place is only temporary. Go back to that article anymore. That's the times that we're in. So further down it reads, if I'm struggling, what are these poor people that are on even lower money than me? And without us all, the cogs don't turn in the NHS. I mean, everyone's talking about nurses and nurses, but it's not just nurses in the NHS. Well, so it's not just the nurses. Okay. But yeah, I didn't want to make this too long, so Thwada for tuning in. Hope you was edified. Again, double honor to the apostles of Great Millstone, who rule and labor in this word and doctrine. Alright. With that, I want to give all praises, all glory, and all honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakwadash. Shalom. Till next time, Lord willing, we got next. Kwam Yasharala. Shalom to the elect.